The studio lights of the Steve Harvey Show glowed warmly, casting a golden hue across the vibrant set as Steve Harvey strode out, his signature grin sparking cheers from an audience eager for another heartfelt episode. Known for blending humor with humanity, Steve had already enthralled viewers with tales from a deep-sea diver who braved sunken wrecks and a smoke jumper who leapt into raging wildfires. Today's theme, extraordinary jobs, promised something unique. Folks, we've heard incredible stories, Steve said, smoothing his suit jacket. But our next guest is truly special. Straight from London, England. Give it up for Samuel Wilson, a Queen's Guard. The crowd roared as Samuel marched in, his scarlet tunic a blaze of tradition, brass buttons catching the light like tiny mirrors. His bearskin cap loomed nearly 2 feet above, and his boots struck the floor with the precision of a metronome, turning the talk show stage into a tableau of history. For Americans over 55, many with sons, daughters, or memories tied to military service, Samuel's presence recalled the solemn honor guards at Arlington National Cemetery or Dover Air Force Base. Sentinels of duty, sacrifice, and pride? Gasps rippled through the audience, some rising in instinctive respect, others fumbling for phones to capture the sight. John Mitchell, a 68-year-old Vietnam veteran in the third row, felt a pang of recognition. His silver star pin glinted as he leaned to his wife, Linda La, a retired nurse. "He's like our boys at the Tomb of the Unknown," he murmured, eyes tracing Samuel's scarlet splendor. Linda nodded, her brother a Gulf War vet, whose stories still lingered in family gatherings. A young boy in the front row pointed, whispering to his grandmother. Margaret Evans, a 62-year-old teacher whose late husband served in Korea. "Is he a real soldier?" the boy asked. "More than real, honey," Margaret replied, her voice thick. Samuel's uniform, rooted in centuries of British military tradition, since the restoration of 1660, carried the weight of battles from Waterloo to Helmand, a symbol of unbroken service that resonated with Americans who cherish their own military heritage. Steve, beaming, exclaimed, "Man, that's something else. Thank you for joining us, Samuel." Samuel nodded, his posture impeccable. "Thank you, Mr. Harvey." With a playful spark, Steve asked, "Can you smile on my show? I've seen you guys at Buckingham Palace." Serious as stone. Laughter erupted, and Samuel's lips twitched upward. "I'm permitted to interact normally, off ceremonial duty, sir." Steve wiped imaginary sweat, grinning. "Good. I don't want to get you court-martialed." The crowd chuckled, but Samuel's reply carried depth. "Our discipline is about duty, sir. A tradition that binds us to something greater." Steve, sensing a story beneath the surface, gestured to the guest chair. "Sit if that uniform allows. Tell us, what's a day like for a Queen's Guard?" Samuel's British accent lent gravitas. "I rise at 4:30 a.m. The uniform takes 3 hours to prepare, buttons polished to reflect, bearskin brushed to exact standards, belts chalked pristine. It honors centuries of service." Steve's eyebrows shot up. 3 hours to get dressed. The audience laughed. But Samuel was steady. "It's not mere dressing, sir. Each detail upholds the crown's legacy." Margaret Evans nodded, recalling her husband's meticulous care with his marine dress blues, a ritual of pride. "And you stand still all day?" Steve asked, intrigued. "Yes, motionless. Despite heat, cold, or distractions," Samuel confirmed. "The bearskin weighs 2 pounds, the rifle 10. Metal soles conduct summer heat or winter frost. We lose pounds sweating or risk frostbite, but stillness is absolute." John Mitchell sat straighter, memories of jungle marches stirring. "Ever had health issues?" Steve asked. "Some faint, trained to fall forward like a tree to minimize injury," Samuel said. "During a royal wedding, one guard stood 6 hours, needing medical care but never breaking post." Steve marveled. "You're trained to faint properly." The crowd's laughter held awe. "Discipline persists, sir," Samuel said. Steve leaned in. "What about tourists trying to make you react?" A shadow crossed Samuel's face. "Daily, Mr. Harvey. Most are kind, but some see ceremony. Not the soldier." Steve frowned. "That's not right. disrespecting your work. Samuel clarified, many respect us, but some forget. We're active duty soldiers. Steve's eyes widened. So you're full military. Every guard is a soldier first, Samuel said. I've served 3 tours in Afghanistan, 1 in Iraq. The room hushed. Linda gripped John's hand, her brother's Desert Storm scars flashing in her mind. Margaret's grandson whispered, he fought in wars. She shushed him gently, her own eyes misting. What was that like? Steve asked. His humor yielding to curiosity, Samuel's gaze grew distant. Unlike films, long vigilance, sudden intensity, in Helmand, we patrolled villages, built schools, guarded medics. Quiet connections with locals mattered as much as combat. Steve nodded. And then you switched to palace duty. The Corps stays, Samuel said. Duty, discipline, service to something larger. As they broke for commercial, Steve caught a fleeting shadow in Samuel's eyes when he mentioned Afghanistan. A hint of untold loss. Back from break, Steve's tone softened, his trademark grin tempered. Folks, we're back with Samuel Wilson, Queen's Guard. During the break, Samuel shared something our audience needs to hear. Samuel nodded. If you think it's appropriate, Mr. Harvey. I do, Steve said firmly. Tell us about the photograph you carry. Samuel reached into his tunic, withdrawing a worn photo with care, as if it were fragile as glass. The image showed 2 young men in desert fatigues, arms around each other, Afghan mountains behind. This is me and my brother, Michael, in Afghanistan. During my second tour, when our deployments overlapped, Steve prompted gently, you served 3 tours there. Yes, in Helmand, a volatile region, Samuel said. Dangerous ground. Steve noted. It was, Samuel understated. We lost good men. He paused, then added, the Queen's Guard's discipline isn't show. It's the focus that keeps soldiers alive. Alert through discomfort, chaos, or fear. John Mitchell nodded, recalling nights in Vietnam, senses sharp, despite exhaustion. Steve gestured to the photo. Your brother was there. Royal Marines. 4 tours. 2010 to 2010. Samuel said, his past tense chilling the room. Michael was killed in action 3 years ago, on patrol in Helmand, by an IED. He was 26. The audience stilled. Linda's hand trembled. Her brother's survival, a miracle she never took for granted. Margaret wiped a tear, her husband's Korean War stories echoing in Samuel's loss. Steve's voice softened. I'm so sorry. Samuel, thank you, sir, Samuel replied, his composure a shield. Were you deployed when it happened? Steve asked. I was at Buckingham Palace. Samuel said, my commander relieved me mid-post, a rare act reserved for grave news. I knew then. The crowd was silent, many visibly moved. Michael was... Samuel searched for words. He found humor in darkness, lifting his unit's spirits. Afghan kids called him the candy soldier for sneaking sweets against rules. His commanders allowed it. Those bonds saved lives. A faint smile touched Samuel's lips as he recalled Michael's gift for connection. He'd joke with villagers, easing tensions. Once, he taught kids to sing Happy Birthday in English, their laughter a bridge across cultures. His unit said he was their heart. Linda whispered to John, he sounds like my brother. Always the clown. Steve asked, why come on my show? Samuel's eyes brightened. Michael was your biggest fan. Mr. Harvey, the audience gasped. Surprised, Steve's jaw dropped. He loved your stand-up, your shows, Samuel said. In Afghanistan, he'd organize Harvey Time, projecting your comedy on a barrack sheet. British soldiers, American Marines, Canadians, they'd gather, laughing over protein bars or care package cookies. John Mitchell's eyes softened, memories of Vietnam barracks flickering, old radios playing Bob Hope, laughter a lifeline. After losing men, Samuel continued, their commander approved it, saying it restored their humanity. Steve, hand on heart, was stunned. I had no idea. Samuel's voice warmed. Michael quoted your jokes on patrol, diffusing fear. Once, under sniper fire, he yelled your line about dodging trouble, and his squad laughed, steadying them. He planned to bring our mom to your show, a dream for his return. The unspoken loss hung heavy, a future stolen by war. Samuel withdrew a worn envelope, its edges creased from careful handling. This is Michael's last letter, received after his death. He unfolded it, reading softly, "Dear family, rough week. Tuesday's patrol was brutal. I held a Steve Harvey night. 2 squads packed our common area, worn out. 10 minutes in, laughter filled the room. Captain Phillips cried, 'Good tears.' Steve's comedy pushes back the dark. 'Tell Mom I'm saving for a show. It's what keeps me going.' The paper trembled in Samuel's hands. The only crack in his discipline. Michael wrote this 2 days before his final patrol. He said, his notebook showed he'd nearly saved enough for your show. Steve's eyes glistened, a tear tracing his cheek. Your comedy reached Hellman's Mountains, gave my brother light in darkness, Samuel said, touching his tunic where the photo rested. At my post, I carry Michael. Summer heat, under this bearskin, recalls his patrols under Afghan sun. Winter winds echo his letters about mountain cold. His voice in my memory quotes you, saying laughter is the bravest response. Steve, overwhelmed, wiped tears. Your work gave soldiers normalcy in chaos, moments beyond measure. The studio was silent, camera operators blinking back tears, the raw authenticity palpable. Steve took a water glass, steadying himself. In 30 years, I've heard laughter helps. Illness, grief, but never soldiers in war, he said, voice low. I'm humbled. Samuel. Michael knew humor connects us, keeps us human. He smiled ruefully. I thought we'd joke about fluffy hats. Instead, I'm learning courage. Brotherhood. Samuel stood, saluting. We stand so others sleep peacefully. Palace duty show duty. Honor, respect, foundations of civilization. He offered a faded patch, a dagger and wings with per mer per terum. This is Michael's 40 commando patch, he said. It saw Helmand, firefights, rescues. He saved kids, carried a wounded American, earned the military cross. We share these with those who meant something to the fallen. Your comedy carried Michael. You're a brother in arms. Steve, tearful, accepted it. I'm deeply honored. The audience rose, applause soft but profound, a tribute to sacrifice. The moment rippled far beyond. John Mitchell, moved, pitched laughter for heroes at his Ohio VFW, screening comedies to ease veterans' PTSD. In Georgia, Linda's school launched Letters from Heroes, students writing to troops, inspired by Michael's letter. Margaret Evans, at her church, started a Veterans Joy Fund, raising money for VA recreation programs. Believing Laughter Heals, across America, VA centers hosted Harvey Nights, honoring Michael's ritual with comedy screenings, veterans laughing together. Reclaiming joy. For Americans over 55, this story strikes deep. Many, like John, know barracks camaraderie, where humor defied war's weight. Samuel's discipline mirrors their advocacy. VFW drives, cemetery flag ceremonies. Michael's laughter echoes their faith and joy amid loss. Like post-911 gatherings or Memorial Day salutes, the Royal Marines, 40 Commando, forged in World War II, shares a legacy with America's Marines, both upholding by sea, by land. Samuel's gift to Steve reflects their tradition of honoring those who lift the fallen, whether through service or smiles. What values do you hold firm? Volunteer at a VA hospital, support Fisher House, or share a vet story with your grandkids. How has laughter carried you through darkness? Your actions keep heroes like Michael alive, their light shining through every shared laugh.